Kevin Denney, Grand Island Police Chief here for the season finale of the Business Beat. And we're at First and Walnut with Wave Pizza. It's not just a pizza, it's a Wave Pizza. So let's go inside and talk to Brent. So Brent, thank you very much for being on the Business Beat with us. And tell us a little bit about yourself.
Brent Lindner. I went to grade school here. Both mom and dad are from Nebraska. My sister and I were born in Milwaukee. Moved here in '72. Went to Trinity Lutheran, Bar Junior High, Grand Island Senior High, and then bounced out to the left coast. Spent some time in Southern California, the Laguna Beach, Orange County area, and then spent some time down in Australia. Always been in food and booze. Really like it. I'm coming up on 39 years in the business.
Right.
So, and I've been working on a book, and it originally was going to be called like 15 years behind bars, 25 years behind bars, but I'm a little behind, so it's just going to be called Life Behind Bars.
It's a good play on words, especially when you're talking to the police chief, right?
Yes. The crazy business that we're in, but I still really love it, even though these last years have been challenging. But yeah, moved back here and would be 92 and started working and got more involved in the bars and restaurants. Ended up buying one. And
What brought you back to Grand Island?
I actually came back to finish school at Hastings College. I was back visiting my mother and father. There was a gal I went to high school with who worked at Hastings College, and I said, I'd love to take you to lunch or something if I could before I head back to California. She goes, well, you can take me to lunch, but you got to take a campus tour because I'm working that day. And she goes, I'll buy lunch. The Hastings College will buy that. And something resonated. And I was like, this is a great school, and I need to finish up because I was on like spattering of schools all across the country, across the world, 9 years in college, which, you know, some would call you a doctor. But
you're trying to weave all the different classes together into something that was a 4-year degree, I guess.
Yeah, I was at like Long Beach State, Irvine, Saddleback Community College, University of New South Wales in Sydney, Australia, taking classes here with a mishmash. But yeah, it resonated. So I actually then moved back here to finish school, and I met my wife, Michelle, and it was done from there. So I found a good woman, and that puts up with me.
Got your degree?
Yes, and I did get my degree from Hastings College finally.
Yep.
So, and then it continued in food and beverage, and bought our first bar, the Glass Bar, in '96. Then worked with Jeff Richardson. We started Balls in '97, then sold out 4 years later to him, and then started Wave Pizza Company and J. Alfred Proof Rocks, and then, God, we're 10 years ago for Sin City. So,
and Wave, we're inside Wave right now.
yes.
And so tell me about starting Wave Pizza and how that's been just as this one business, because you're such an entrepreneur, you're such a mover and shaker here in Grand Island, but just tell me about Wave and Sin City too, because I've been to Sin City a bunch of times. Love the hamburgers over there.
I do too.
But talk about Wave and what's unique about Wave Pizza here in Grand Island.
Well, Wave Pizza was kind of started. I looked at the landscape of Grand Island, and we didn't really have like a good local pizza joint. You know, it was chains. I was like, well, I want to do a good fresh pizza, make our own dough. We make our own sauces, cut cheeses and things like that. And then just being on the beach, my mom and dad were nice as a kid. They took us to Hawaii on business trips and stuff, took us out to California. So I've always had a love of the ocean and the water. So when I lived out there in Southern California and then in Australia, just was very involved in the water. The people I worked for in Australia started Quicksilver Surfwear, so I was heavily involved with the surfing part of it. And I was like, you know what? I need something that reminds me that there's a beach out there, even though I'm not on it. and about as far away from a beach as you can be.
Yep.
So it was kind of an ode to just the beach lifestyle. I was like, I want a little broken down surf shack in Grand Island, and like all the pizzas and sandwiches are named after different places I've surfed and people I've met that are surfers and stuff, and just really like that. And one of the best compliments I think we get here is when people come in, sometimes they're sitting in the garden or whatever here, and they're like, God, we don't even feel like we're in Grand Island. We feel like we're somewhere else. So, which is awesome to hear.
Feel like you're in some part of Australia or something.
That's right.
Yeah.
So,
And if you haven't been to Way Pizza before and you're coming from out of town, what's the best way to say where we're at? Because the exterior, you can see Way Pizza on the outside and everything as far as surfboards and stuff like that go.
Right.
But if you're coming in from out of town,
we go the Railside district, and we say, look for the big damn shark poking out of the out of the thing.
I want to leave that to you. The shark coming out of the
there's a 7-foot shark sticking out of the front of it.
Can't miss it. And Sin City. So how did Sin City develop?
And Sin City was kind of, again, we were looking at the landscape, and it was actually a lifelong friend, Brian Poston. We're like, love big fat cheeseburgers, and we're like, there just wasn't the good local joint. There were some good places that did like char burgers and stuff, which are good, and if you're in the mood for those. But I'm like big fat cheeseburgers done on a flat grill, and just with lots of different choices and stuff. Just kind of like Wave. I mean, we've got like 80 different toppings. Same over there. And so we were like, let's do this. And we both really love going to Vegas and stuff. And I enjoy it. I love the history of it and everything. Now it's very polished and cool. I still love to go in and catch a show and eat out there. But we were like, it would have been so cool in like late 50s, early 60s, where the mob was out there. But when people went out, they dressed up to go out and stuff.
The Rat Pack and all.
Yeah. And that was just fascinating. So we were like, let's kind of do it kind of old school Vegas, the colors and stuff. And we searched all over for great memorabilia from that period and stuff. And it's just, it was a simpler time, I guess, with Vegas. And then combine it obviously with big fat cheeseburgers and big malts and stuff, and hand cut fries. So that was kind of that. We were like, we need a better burger. So, and knock on wood, we're still around. Hanging.
I can attest the burgers are very good over there. I've had my share, I'd say. What about the other businesses that you have going on here in town?
We started Proof Rocks the same time about as Wave, would have been about 2000, 2001. And again, I started that with a good friend of mine, Robert Bahood, and I bought him out years later. He had Nathan Detroit's, which is now Kincaid's. And it was kind of built off of, we need a nicer place to go that's a little more upscale. Because I was like, where do you go to celebrate a job promotion, a baby, a graduation, or something that's nicer? So even though it's a small spot, so I finally convinced Tom Ziller, who owns the building, I go, let me put a little bar in there. And now we've been there 23 years, something like that. But yeah, that was kind of the precipice of that. Just have, and people go, well, it's just martinis. I go, it's a full bar, and the martinis are just, they're fun drinks in martini glasses and stuff. And
give it more of that upscale.
Yeah, and if you've ever been there, it's just a really cozy spot. The brick walls, wood floors, and it's really neat. And there are a lot of great buildings. And Railside has just, I mean, we've been down here 23, 24 years, something like that, and just, it's so exciting now, especially over these last 7, 8 years, where guys couldn't get loans, guys or gals couldn't get loans on these buildings. Now you see a building pop up, it's gone, there's something in there.
Yeah,
and it again, compliments from people out of town come here. They're like, your downtown is really awesome.
Yep.
And it's so navigable. I mean, it's only 6-8 blocks, and you can walk. And now we got boutiques, and
it's come a long way over the last 10, 15 years for sure.
It really has.
Yeah,
so it's exciting. There's just a buzz now, and it helps me jump out of bed a little quicker.
Yeah.
So
well, a lot of that's attributable to you, your vision, your positivity, and the revision of all that. So, when we worked together for the 4th Street Festival, and you helped to guide some of that as well. with the brothers from Tacos Los Hermanos. But also your big thing is here Grand Island. So talk a little bit about that, if you would, about the last couple years on here Grand Island.
Well, that was an exciting project. Brad Melma from Grand Island Tourism got in cahoots with here in Nebraska and brought the Good Living Tour, which was bringing 5 or 6 bands, poets and stuff to smaller communities that don't have like a good live music scene. And we were honored to get we got the SDL for it, the liquor license. Mm-hmm. So we were able to participate in that and just really saw how that was. I was like, this is cool. So we talked with Andrew Norman from here in Nebraska, and I said, we want to do a here Grand Island, because they do these in Lincoln and Omaha where like at 5 o'clock you get off on a Friday, they would go out and there'd be drinks and live music, and we're like, well, can we kind of change it up? Because we don't have like a big downtown where lots of people are getting off work. And so we put it together in 2016 was our first one, and it's really grown. Our first year we had 2016. Despite the rainouts, we average about 3,500 up to 5,000 people a night, and it's exciting to do. And we've kept it free. It's not without its challenges, so I will say that. And we get bummed out every time it rains, and all the artists do too. But it's because we love doing it. So we're going to continue to do it. So I'm crazy.
I really admire your ability to get all those moving parts together and make it happen. You look at the police department, for example. There's a lot of moving parts there, but you got stuff everywhere. Out of town. You got to schedule stuff. I mean, it's got to be just a huge challenge. And so credit to you for being able to kind of pull all that together.
Well, thank you. I will say it's not just me. So, right. And you know that
it's a group effort for sure.
Yeah. So,
but somebody's got to kind of have it organized and a vision in their head, and you're one of those people for sure.
It's in my head. I don't know about how organized, so I try.
We were talking back to the businesses and stuff. We were talking off camera earlier about some of the frustrations that you had over the last few years. And so if you would, could you talk a little bit about that? Because, you've got to run a business. You've got to make a little bit of a profit to continue running those businesses and stuff.
Keyword being little.
A little bit. Yeah, I know. Everybody thinks that you're going to be kicked back with your feet up on the desk, and I don't think you ever do that.
No. I've got 4 or 5 desks, and mm-hmm. Very rarely are they, and they're cluttered. You can ask my wife. I got stuff all over. And I did say I didn't want to be negative and stuff, so I'll put whatever. I'm eternally optimistic.
Yep.
So I really do that. I believe that, even though, for lack of a better word, we're backed in a corner a little bit. But to speak on that, I mean, there's so many people in these situations. I mean, you go out to eat, you buy some groceries, you fill up at the petrol station.
Sticker shock on all of that.
Yeah, and it's challenging.
Yeah.
So, it's uber challenging. I'm president of the Nebraska Hospitality Association. We represent 751 hotels and restaurants across the state, and I talk with a lot of different people all over the state, and it's tough. I mean, and like I said, I don't want to, it's not just me. It's just not my businesses. It's a lot of people, and it's a challenge for every Nebraska family right now, and so. Without getting political, I'll just say, please get out and vote. Whatever, make your voice heard, because we need that. We need good leadership and prayers for that. But yeah, it's challenging. But like I said, I'm eternally optimistic. This is a great community we're in. The longer I've lived here, I just see so many people wanting to do things and get things going. And I always laugh when people go, and it was maybe true years ago that, man, there's nothing to do here. And anyone says that to me, I go, liar. I go, you look at any day of the week, and there's almost too much to do.
Yeah.
I mean, where do you split your time? There's shows and great things at the theater, parades, and there's a lot of different charity events. So,
and there's more coming too.
Yes.
which is exciting. But I share your positivity about stuff. So at the police department, you know, it's a challenge because when I started a year and a half ago coming in from Texas, we had a staffing issue. We were way down on staffing. But the positive part of that is the new people that we're bringing in are they don't know the old perspective, the old vision, so it's much easier to pivot and go in a slightly new direction or a new vision for the police department. And I keep talking about how that needs to be in very close alignment with the community. We need to be listening to the business owners, the people in our community and stuff like that. So I always ask, you know, people that I'm interviewing, what do you think about the police department? What's your experience been? Good, bad, indifferent? And what would you like to see your police department do in the future for you as a business owner and as a resident here?
Well, I want all the force and personnel to obviously order more wave pizza.
Right.
No.
We get off the donuts
no.
and start on the pizzas, right?
Well, I'm working on donut concept if I ever get any money. So
we'll be in on that.
No, one thing I've really liked, and like when we first started here at Grand Island, we actually had off-duty officers do security for us. So it was nice getting to know people and meet people. Now we do use double lock, but they do have some peace officers that work in our community and stuff. But I've always liked, and especially now where they roll through like the Here Grand Island concerts, say hi and stuff, what's up and stuff, and you know, sometimes they're like, hey, we also noticed when we were walking through, you got a guy over here we kind of know, and so they'll alert our security and stuff so we can keep an eye on things. But it seems a lot more hands-on, and I love this interaction here, and I've been watching it, and like I said, I've been kind of jealous. I was like, I hope they ask us sometime.
Yep.
But I was like, I'll be quiet.
Yep.
But no, just the interaction with the community, I think is so important. And I mean, I got 4 businesses like herding cats, so I don't imagine yours, because you know, I can close down or whatever, and we got a little time or whatever. Yours is 24/7, baby, 365. So
yep.
I appreciate that. And most of the people I've met, like I said, on the force that are walking, and they've come up and asked, you know, how are things going, and what do you think about this or whatever, and just for, you know, hey, great night, looks like you got a good crowd, or whatever you're doing. So, and then just any interactions. Unfortunately, we have some issues that'll arise at the restaurants or bars where we need to call an officer in for this or that, and, you know, and just really appreciate the back and forth communication and feel like there's a great effort there. So I really enjoyed it in working with everyone, and I know your job is hard as hell. So I thought I had it, whatever, but I don't think I'd want to be on your end. So
Well, you have a few moments, that's for sure. I've enjoyed my time in policing, and I think the new people coming in had the same desire to serve the community, you know, make a difference and stuff. And we're getting a lot of good people in. So we want to continue that trend, that they get out from behind the windshield, you know, they walk into a business, they have conversations with people, and the engagement, the communication is a big part of it. So we're going to keep pushing that here in Grand Island.
amen.
So for the future of here Grand Island and your business is here, where are we going in the future? Do you see that?
Well, as I said, and everyone knows, we're navigating some interesting waters. So I well, actually look at it more like the boxer. We're beaten and bloody, but we're still standing and fighting. So
As long as you're breathing.
yeah, and part of it is we're kind of re-entrenching, making sure the products we're putting out are the best we can, and at a price is as reasonable as it can be. Still keep the doors open. Just kind of re-entrench and look at our roots, and you know, we just want to put out good food, have good service at the end of the day. You know, everyone has a lot of choices out there, so we want to make sure your visits here are as best possible. We mess up on occasion, but we own it too. So, you know, we don't duck anything, and you know, we'll keep fighting and stuff. And I believe in this community and here Grand Island going forward, and different stuff. And then working with Rodrigo and Augustine on the 4th Street Festival has just been a hoot, ton of work, but it's so fun when you see so many people, and here at Grand Island too, just having a good time. you sit back and you go, this is why we do this.
Right.
Even though I mean, like we did here Grand Island this with Rascal Martino's on Friday, right into the 4th Street Fiddle Saturday and Sunday. So it's like 72 hours. I mean, lots of planning beforehand.
Oh yeah, June was a busy month, but the months before that were a lot of planning.
Yeah.
I remember just part of that planning was when you came to the police department, and we talked about permitting and some things, some heights of the carnival.
Oh yeah, we put the
rides
carnival
and stuff
rides
like that. So so that was good. But so you're just involved in a lot of good stuff happening here in Grand Island. As far as like leadership and how you manage so many people that are your employees at the different businesses, but also people that you want to bring in and show them the vision of your Grand Island and other things. Can you talk a little bit about that and your perspective on that, or how you do things? I mean, I know from the police department side, I don't like to be a micromanager. I like to be involved. I like to be present. I like to talk to the different levels within the police department because we're quasi-military, so we have our hierarchy, and we've got to follow that and respect it both ways. But I really like to talk to everybody in the police department as often as I can and kind of ask what's going on and what's happening. Same thing in the community. That's just an example of what I do. But I want to hear what Brent Lindner does, what your MO is as far as how you do things, because it is like that. You got a lot of plates spinning and everything, but it is a leadership thing. It's a visionary thing. So what's your take on that?
I'd say a little bit like you don't micromanage. Want to kind of know what's going on, and I do work. I don't work as much here. I'm usually at the places every day, and have a decent grasp of what's going on. But I do kind of try to stay out of the way and work on some of these other things, big picture. But that just leads back to people I work with that are really good, so I don't have to worry about it. I got enough stuff to worry about. So, or
put the right people in the right seats, kind of
yeah.
thing. Yeah.
So and with what's out there, and we're still, everyone's, staffing is still interesting, and we've got more places opening and stuff, and so it's going to remain challenging. So
you mentioned it earlier too, as far as working with the city. How's that experience for you, working with different facets of city government?
It's been very positive. So from our initial meetings in 2016, when started here at Grand Island, where we got everyone together, it was police, fire, who else? Streets. It was like 6 or 7 heads
code
of just like, well, what are you trying to do? And we tried to explain it in this, and really worked together and got a groundwork to where we're now, I've got different people within the city on my speed dial and go, hey, and then it's it's kind of a lot of paperwork and a lot of I's and T's to be dotted and crossed. But working with everyone too, I'll get a call like the city clerk, Jill Grenier, will go, hey, just I was looking at your thing, you missed this thing here. You want to come back and quick fill that in or whatever. Where we're working with you, not against you. They want to see it happen, but it's got to be done properly. Again, working with you guys, we want a safe experience, a fun experience, and proper. Because there's been rumors like, oh, I get all this. The city gives me permits and this and that. And I go, yeah, the city gives me permits because I fill it out and then I pay for that.
That's right.
So they're like, oh, you get this for free and this. No, it's not. But yeah, the city's been great to work with.
Right.
And they've made it better too, in that, hey, you could look at this or look at this, and it's a symbiotic relationship where they're giving me some ideas on how to make it better, safer, things like that, which you need.
Yeah.
As it grows and stuff. There's different issues, and like when we're trying for more streets for the 4th Street Festival, how can we do this? You want to see it happen, but there's logistical things, so you got to bring in everyone and work on it. And I love it that we work on it and you find resolutions. You have different ideas. It might not be the original idea you started with, so.
But that's the way.
That's been very
ironically,
positive.
that's the way it should be when you're dealing with local government. is you come in and you have to go through the process, but you should also be guided through the process or helped by the people that are, I guess, the experts in whatever area it is. And that's what I always feel we should be doing on the police side. You guys came talking about the 4th Street Festival with regards to security and some other things on the police side. And we went out there and walked the area, looked at the overhead lines, tried to figure out where we could put stuff. And the attitude should be, how can we help you and make this work? Not how can we put roadblocks in your way, which sometimes does happen other places, and we all get frustrated with that. But, yeah.
No, but back to your question. Overall, it's been very positive. Where I feel like I can pick up the phone. Hey, I got a question on this and that, and even with some of the state entities I deal with too. But locally, boots on the ground. It's been fantastic. And when people go, oh, I want to do this and do that, I go, well, you can talk to this person and this person, and if you really want to do it, they're there to help. And but you got to get the ball rolling, and you got to do the heavy lifting, but they're there to guide you, and that's why I look at that. It's been a great resource. So
yeah. Well, Brent, you've been a fixture here for a long time in the community. You've got some great businesses going on. You've got some great vision and projects that are happening that are bringing Grand Island along and attracting people to our city. So I'd just like to say, keep up the good work. I know there's a lot of challenges ahead for all of us, but keep positive and keep the right attitude and the right vision. So thanks for talking to us.
We're on the island, man. We're on the street.
Thanks. Well, we're here with Jeremy Welch. He is a cook here at Way Pizza. And Jeremy, thanks for being part of this interview process. So tell me a little bit about yourself and what brought you to Grand Island.
I've grown up here. My parents moved in 1980 from Wisconsin to Grand Island right after the tornadoes hit. So I've kind of just grown up here, spent a couple years in Hastings, but then moved back.
Right.
Been here my whole life pretty much. Went to high school here, graduated high school here. It's my place that I grew up. So
Went to Grand Island High School?
Yes.
Okay.
Grand Island Senior High. Yep.
All right.
Yep.
So what brought you into Brent Linder's orbit and Way Pizza?
I had been an executive chef, kitchen manager for several different places, including country clubs, mom and pops, truck stops. My last one was a corporate job for working for the hospital. And I needed a change because from what I originally got into cooking and food, it wasn't the job for me. Let's just say that. And walking into this place every day, being able to be myself and wear the things I want to wear, and a happening kind of trendy joint where we got like one-of-a-kind pizzas, the best pizza in town. I just wanted to be a part of that, and I'm about 5 blocks away.
Right.
So
that's close.
that helps when you
it's
have
nice.
car trouble.
Yeah. Very nice.
Since I've been here, you notice the surfer beach theme.
Oh, yeah.
We're transitioning. I told Brent, we don't have oceans here, but us sidewalk surfers, they're going to allow me to incorporate skateboarding into the theme.
Okay.
Where I came up with a Tony Hawk sandwich. First month I was here, and then the Del Mar pie, which is this month, which is the skate park he got famous and became professional at age 11, Tony Hawk. So having the different themes besides the beach and besides the surf, I'm like, we're sidewalk surfers. We have the same language. We drop in, we have half pipes,
Right.
a lot of the same things, same attitude, but we don't have oceans here. So let's keep, and we're getting a brand new skate park this next year. They're redoing our current one to be all concrete, and it's just an exciting time.
You were allowed the creativity to market some of the things you're making
And just
here.
bring a new crowd in here too.
Yeah.
You get the younger crowd are all skateboarders here.
Yeah.
And like when I went to high school, there was 2 or 3 of us in a class doing it. Now there's 2 or 3 in a class not doing it. It's flip-flop. So it's that popular also.
So talk about some of the other creative things that you're doing or want to do coming up.
Well, just down the road, having once a month a new sandwich or a new pie. Having themed stuff, you know, is maybe something coming up here for Christmas and Halloween. We might be doing some fun things here. A lot of it's trial and error. We got to do a little, you know, trying this out first before it works kind of a thing. But just the ability to, I want to make this sandwich. I know it'll be good. I get to name the sandwich. It gets to be themed after everything I know, which is skateboarding from the 90s to current. So that's, you know, 30, 35 years of knowledge on terms, skateboarders, skate parks, anything to do with it. So
what's some of the biggest challenges for you back in the kitchen or with customers? What's the biggest challenges that you're dealing with where you're at?
Challenges, it's just getting it, I think with anybody, anywhere you work, getting everybody on board, the same page, making sure you hire people that care. Having good communication is key in any kitchen. I gotta know exactly where you're at. You need to know exactly where I'm at. And if we're not talking back and forth in our own language or some sort of language that's common, that's when it can kind of fall apart. But for the most part, we're getting better, you know, each day. And the more you work with different people, the more you learn. So
Sounds like a police department to some degree, communication and all that.
a little bit, you know, you have to, somebody walking up to the line to come in and help when you're busy, you have to be able to know exactly where they're at and where to jump in. And if you're just looking at a screen or a stack of tickets, it's pretty easily to just be like, I don't know what to do. Where am I at? Where do I go? But that's, again, communication is key.
And do you have a lot of regulars that come in certain days?
We do during the week. You know, a few of our guys that come in on their lunch breaks, that come in throughout the week almost every day. Our lunch business is something we want to build on. But most of our business, I would say, is deliveries, DoorDash, and supper business. You know, people come out at night a little bit more than we see during the day, but we're trying to build it all and just expand with it. So,
Jeremy, I've enjoyed our conversation.
Yes,
It's
yes.
been very interesting learning about you and your creativity
You as well.
and what you like to do back in the kitchen. And I'm looking forward to getting back there and checking some things out. Trying not to get in your way, but having some fun. So
Yeah.
let's check it out.
let's do it.
All right, here we go. Trying to get the circle going here. Mine is not looking like a circle. All right. It's kind of, I think this is something else I'm going to have to give to the mayor. Hey, Mayor, I made a pizza for you. I seriously cannot get this into a circle, but okay. Once you get it going the wrong way, then it's all over. Yeah. Okay, this one's one of the only. Okay. All right, see how this goes. Okay, there you are. Apple. All right. I only used to wash dishes, so I'm not really good at serving. So they only kept me washing dishes. I never promoted out of washing dishes. So. Here's a Diana. This is Diana. Can I send this out to Diana? Now it's shake, but the ingredients are there. Kind of like a cake.
Yes.
You gonna help me with that, or did I hear that? Oh, look at that baby. But we don't give him a warmer.
We don't give them the warmer.
We keep the
We
warmer.
would need a lot of warmers.
Yeah, that's an extra charge on top of that. Woo, look at that pizza. Yet again, the professional and the amateur. I'll eat it. Good job.